stop. Are you making the most common TFSA mistake that's costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars? Most Canadians are. Today, I'm going to show you why you should stop saving in your TFSA and instead turn your tax-free savings account into a tax-free investment powerhouse. Why? It makes an absolutely massive difference in your retirement income, the estate you leave, and how much taxes you pay. Just a small difference in the rate of return and how you manage your tax-free savings account can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, depending on your age as time goes on. It's your favourite Scotsman here again, and just a quick refresher before we dive into it. A TFSA allows after-tax contributions to grow tax-free. This means if you invest $20,000 today and it grows to $40,000, you can withdraw the full $40,000 tax-free. No questions asked, no nasty tax bill at the end of the year. It's that simple. Unfortunately though, many treat their TFSA like a regular savings account, missing out on its potential. This misconception started with its name primarily, and then the promotion by the big financial institutions as a savings tool. Question for you. Have you ever walked into your local bank and the teller has asked you to open a TFSA and transfer a portion of your paycheck in there every month? Maybe they even offered you discounted bank fees if you do so. Sounds familiar? Yeah, I thought so. In any case, let me tell you a story about a couple I worked with, Larry and Edith. I've changed the names here for privacy reasons, obviously, but Larry and Edith are both 60 years old and been diligently saving in their TFSAs for years. They'd amassed over 100 grand each. They were naturally proud of their nest egg, but they hadn't realised that they were missing out on some pretty significant growth potential. We're going to assume that they each continue to fund their TFSAs yearly with $7,000. If their accounts grow at 5% annually, you can see that by the time they reach 95, they'll have a total of just over $2.4 million. On the other hand, let's say they decide to use their TFSAs as savings accounts, which grow at 3% annually. In this case, they have a total of just over $1.4 million at age 95. I would like to hope you don't need a financial planner to tell you that $1 million is a pretty big difference. Now, I appreciate today you may be able to get more than 3% in interest. I'm looking at this over the long run. Chances are you could end up with more than a 5% return on your investment as well, depending on how it's invested. Some of you watching this though will be looking and thinking, well, that's all fine and dandy, but we're not going to have the luxury of contributing to our TFSAs every year. Well, let's go back to Larry and Edith and compare what the estates would look like if they don't contribute anymore. As you would expect, the difference isn't quite as big, but it's still well over $500,000. And now, I know there's some of you shouting at your screen telling me that's all fine and dandy, Scotsman, but I'll need to use my TFSA to fund my retirement income. Don't worry, I've got you covered. You can sit back down. Now, let's go back to Larry and Edith and assume that this time they retire at age 65, and for the next 5 years until retirement, they max out their TFSAs each year. The difference between a 5% return and a 3% return is the equivalent of $4,211 a year in additional income. You add this up over a 30-year retirement, and that's just over 126 grand. How many extra vacations is that going to pay for? I've used this example of a 60-year-old couple today, but the younger you are, the larger those numbers get. If you've got a long-term outlook, using your TFSA as an investment account is an absolute must. That's not to say though there aren't times when using your TFSA or at least part of your TFSA as a savings account makes sense. If you know you've got a big purchase coming up, like a new house, renos or a new car, you don't want to be taking chances in the market. So, if you're sitting here today watching this and thinking you need to make a change to how you manage your TFSA, go ahead and click on the link in the pinned comments below and book a free 15-minute call with me today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you want to know everything you need to know about retirement in Canada, you're going to want to watch this next video.